Anyhow, hey guys, this is Jody. I'm back. Of course, it'll be back tomorrow. You'll see it tomorrow when it's uploaded. But hey, it's the Whiskey Rebellion Barcast, and I'm talking to you from my office today because, quite honestly, it's the most comfortable seat for this. And got a few of us here. We're ready to do this. And guys, cheers, everyone. Thanks for being on the show.
Cheers.
So, hey, to start us off, why do you have to have a comfortable chair?
See, I see what you did there. I had some catastrophic major surgery done, and
Did they cut it off and then peel it back and then push it inwards?
No, that's all still the same size. It's shaped like a tuna can. No, it was not in that area. So can we not talk about me? I mean, I'm still a dude. My pronouns would still be dude or doctor.
I guess the bigger question is it Jody with a Y or Jody with an I?
Well, it's always been Jody with a Y.
Okay.
Okay, good. So we're good to go.
I'm not talking to y'all sweet like, hey. You guys gonna accept me?
You never know in today's society.
We don't care.
Well, if I was going to do it, I guess it'd be this month. Anyhow, guys, which we do accept everyone, so it's all good. What's everybody drinking? And I've got a good conversation that I like to chat about. If we can get through the drinks real fast, what everybody's drinking. So, Lil John, what you got?
I just poured a Russell's Reserve single barrel, 110 proof, solid pour coming out of Wild Turkey. That's one of the first bottles I picked up. Surprised I haven't made it all the way through it yet. I think it's just one that sits there for a little bit and I forget about it, but good pour. Love it.
I love finding that at the package store, in the military bases, because it's usually like $29, if that. And that is you're absolutely right. That is a solid pour right there. Billy, welcome to the show, man.
Welcome. Thank you, guys. Good to see you again, Jody.
Thank you.
Getting through this Noble Oak. Just a fan favorite for me. Just enjoying it with a little bit of ice. Other than that, everything is well. Interesting thing, me and the wife in the Jeep Club this past weekend, we went up to Ocala to do some off-roading. Had a great time. The wife was butt clenched going up and down 45-degree slopes and everything. But on the way up...
quick, can you get her to demonstrate what butt clench means? I just would like to know. We have a visual.
She said no. She's like, no. So where we were going off-roading is like in the middle of nowhere. So literally only thing in town is a Zaxby, the hotel, and the Publix. That's like basically it.
Well, there's like 12 billion Publix in Florida, so that makes sense.
And there's a hospital there in Ocala because HCA owns it.
Yeah, we didn't even see that. We were actually just wondering. But we went to the Publix and they had a liquor store. All right, liquor store, you go in and see what's there. And for whatever reason, by far, this was the best selection I've ever seen in the Publix. I'm thinking, why in this Publix, in the middle of nowhere, do they have this selection of products? I mean, they had Uncle Nearest, they had almost anything you could think of. And the girl behind the counter, she was like, we get Blanton's, we get Eagle Rare. And I was like, just curious, what does it run? She's like, the Blanton's around 35 and
God, I bought it. Yeah. Every case they had.
Exactly. And she's like, oh yeah, but we get it and it's usually gone within a couple of hours. I'm like, okay. So the people up here with no teeth drink Blanton. She's like, yeah. So that was interesting.
Nice. Well, I'm glad to see you, Billy. I'm glad to see that everybody survived. I think you guys' highest altitude is elevation is 745 feet, and it's not even anywhere close to Ocala. But anyway, Rob, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, man. How you doing tonight?
Doing well.
So I am drinking a little Elijah Craig Barrel Proof. This is the C920. It is 132.8.
Yep. I have some of that. That's good.
It is not tasting like 132.8. And I don't have to work tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Oh, so that's why you wanted another.
Somebody
You
what you
guys
don't
can
know
do an
now.
after show, but this guy is not doing an after show. So anyway, Mark, welcome to the show, man.
What's up, my brothers? So
What's up?
I cracked open the Sam Houston 15.
15 year, yeah.
Everybody's
talking about that. So tell us what you think.
My first pour, I was not impressed. I just got ethanol. It's just ethanol, just ethanol, nothing else. The taste was ethanol. Then, let's sit for a little while. So I'm getting it's a little woodsy. So I come back to it now I'm getting honey with ethanol on the nose. It's actually not as oaky as I was expecting, being at 15 years. So that's a little surprising. Right. So I'm gonna have to live with this for a little while. The second pour is better. Not bad. I'm just not thoroughly impressed yet for the price I paid.
That's a pretty high bottle too, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it's a 103 proof. So I can taste the 103, but just kind of surprising to me.
I think in PA that was coming in at like 129, 149.
He was talking about price point. So what's the price point?
Yeah, that's about the price point. Yep. So round 2 is going to be Old Soul. This is a Sprayberry store pick. We talked about stickers last week.
Yeah.
So this is really, really good. This is an MGP. This was sourced. Sorry if that pisses people off. This was sourced, but it was sourced by MGP. This is really, 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 really good.
I do not understand that argument. That drives me crazy because I'm gonna tell you what, if I could go back in time, I would absolutely buy all the stock in the world in MGP. Yeah. And I'd be rolling around in my sourced money right now, and wiping my butt with it or whatever. I mean, that's the most ridiculous thing ever because it tastes, I think it's fantastic. All right. So for me, I'm having just having something easy tonight. Some Colonel Taylor, small batch, bottle and bond. So it's 100 proof. I don't need to tell you guys about it. You guys already know everything about this. It's a solid pour. I don't know if I'll have a second. And if I do, it'll probably be something from my office shelf, which would be either Backbone Bourbon or Old Elk or Blanton's or Woodford Master Distill. So one of those would be what I would pour. So don't know yet if I'm going to have another one. So it is what it is. But hey, I got an interesting topic I want to talk about. I guess it's interesting to me because it irritates the absolute piss out of me. That's the crotch shot. Like I just don't get it. I maybe I'm just one of those people that just don't get it because I guess my thought process is probably 99.9% of them don't even drink whatever they get, mainly because we know one of those people, and I know that person doesn't drink it, and it drives me crazy when people make those pictures and they're like, I got this, and this. How'd I do? Here's my watch. That's freaking cool, and my car, and I'm sitting
on watches, man.
I'm not knocking watches, man. I'm not knocking any part of it except for it's just kind of like the ones I find that are really entertaining are like the one that the guy posted on Bourbon Nation today that had the Truly or however you say it. It was a can of that feminine drink.
Yeah, the seltzer.
Yeah, and I was like, now see, that's funny, and that's that guy I could be friends with, But then I look at some of these other ones, I'm like, you probably don't even drink that. You're probably just a collector saving it for that special occasion.
Or a flipper.
Or what? A flipper, yeah. So do you guys have any thoughts on it? I mean, or am I the only one who just hates it?
No, for me, I feel like it's one, I think it's a flipper or a collector. And two, I really think it's somebody who's trying to flex in a way, because they're trying to say, oh, I got this that's hard to get, or it's a unicorn, or it's really, really high up there, or something like that. And really, I've taken a picture like that, but it was really just to show that I found something unique or something nice, but never ever to kind of, flex on what kind of car I'm driving or what kind of watch I have on, or this, that, the other. It's never been a thing for me like that. I mean, I think the last time I did it is when I got the big size Eagle Rare, right. And I was just happy to get the big one, So other than that, I think it's arrogant. I think it's extremely arrogant. And, you know, I'm driving a Mercedes, I'm wearing a Rolex, and I paid $250 for blinds. That kind of thing, you know. That's when it gets to be annoying. I've seen somebody do some funny ones where a guy took a bunch of Post-its and obviously he was driving like a Dodge and he put like a Ferrari sign or something.
Yeah.
Right.
And see, those guys make me giggle because it seems like they're doing exactly or they feel the same sentiment that I do, which is this is stupid, you know. But anyway, what's everybody else think?
So, and it is absolutely the most asinine thing. I don't get it.
The only thing I find more asinine than that is chugging. I find that to be stupid.
Chugging's probably above that. So, but I'm with you on that as well.
Which I haven't seen a whole lot of it since I've been kicked out of that group. So,
out of WPSC.
Yeah, I got kicked out.
Chad kicked out.
Yeah, what's bad is me and Chad are friends. I think he kicked me out because I always posted our group on there.
You guys say hi to my wife back there.
Hello.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's kind of a piece of work. Him and I had conversations about barbecue sauce and things like that. But yeah, he's. We'll leave it at that.
Well, I didn't get a conversation. I actually invited him to be on our show, and because I genuinely like the dude. And then next thing I know, I was removed from the group and can't even find it. So I've been like removed and blocked from the group. I'm like,
hey,
wow.
Like I didn't even post anything in there. Like I can't believe that, but I'm okay with it because I don't see any more chugging, and I'm down with that. You know,
it's him and another young lady. I forget her name, who are like the admins.
Oh yeah, there is a woman that chugs. Yeah. We touched on it just a bit last week. For me, I'm not a fan of the crotch shots. I just think it's dumb. Sorry.
Well, I feel the same way when it comes like
the picture.
I feel the same way, like we were referring to like boob shots. Like, don't get me wrong, I like boobies much more than I like some dude's crotch by far. You know, but it doesn't mean I want to see that. Like, it still seems like it's like you're trying to show me something,
right?
That's really, it doesn't. Yeah. It's not really in the spirit of the bourbon, in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you want to do an OnlyFans and you need somebody to subscribe, I may be your dude. But
yeah, I see. For me, I think the crotch shot annoys me. I would say the one that really irritates me is the caption, and everyone uses the same damn caption. Am I doing this right? Like, come on. Again, I don't need to see "Am I doing this right" 1,000 times every day in every group. Now, that's my fault that I'm in a million groups, but still, each one of the groups there's at least 50 to 100 times a day. Literally, am I doing this right? Okay, dude. The last 50 people did that. Do something else. So
it's almost like it's become one of these stupid TikTok challenges.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Facebook challenges. That's what it's become. That's what's really making it annoying to me.
I don't have TikTok. Maybe I ought to get that.
Don't do it.
No, okay. I don't have TikTok, but you can't help but see the video sometimes.
Yeah.
You'll
be in a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Before we go to John, Melvin, how you doing, brother? And what are you having?
I'm doing real well. I thought I bought this bottle maybe about a couple of months ago. Nassif Family Reserve.
Hey, tell me what you think about that, because I have seen that a few times. I've been thinking about picking it up, but I haven't.
Actually, the only reason I got it is because I had a taste of it with Turk, and it was exceptional. So I ended up bringing a bottle home, and I just cracked it open tonight. And as we kind of move along, I'll kind of give you some taste notes on it.
Cool deal. Hey, do you have any thoughts on crotch shots?
Never done one. How's that?
I don't mean like that kind of crotch shot. I'm talking about like, like.
Hey, I see them on the post, on the Bourbon Post. Everybody likes to show off their stuff. But I kind of like go with Mark. If you're going to do it, say something different. we got it.
Or if you're going to do it, throw in a moose knuckle here and there, Jesus.
or put something in your pants to make it look like it goes down to your knee, and like that way you can spark conversation.
Yeah. We one of the local groups. I can't remember which one. I don't know if the dude had a boner. I was like, come on, dude, I don't want to see that, man.
Oh my God.
See, now I would have been okay with that one. I'll tell you why, because that at least sparked some type of conversation.
I think
That to me, you realize it's a stupid thing to do. I'm slightly aroused. Let's discuss.
It could be small talk.
Could be a very short conversation. Phil John.
There you go.
Phil John, what do you think, man?
And the only time I want to look at crotch is if you in a bend and we got to figure out whether you got to go to the doctor's office or we're going to be able to scrub this out with a Brillo pad.
I feel like I have to tell you what I had to tell my Marines, and that is, hey, look, hand sanitizer does not go on your balls, and you don't put it in your mouth. All the time. I had to tell them every single time. I'm like, do not put that in, actually also eyes. Don't put in your eyes, mouth, and don't put it on your balls. All the time. I had to tell them that.
What about ice?
And sure enough, they ice hot's another one, but every time they'd come to the clinic, like, Doc, I'm burning down there. I'm like, did you put hand sanitizer on your balls? I did. Well, you're just a jackass. Bye-bye. There's nothing I can do for you. Suck it up. I mean, you're an idiot.
He won't suck it up. Not with that on it.
Yeah, that's true too. But anyway, enough about that. I think there's a lack of creativity with it now. And then the other thing is, maybe I'm just old, because I am. If you get something that I want to, like, for example, I've seen a couple like where people have posted pictures and they're on like some classic car, or like Mark does, and he'll post them where he's behind it. He has that shirt on, he has a cigar out there, and every bottle's open. So I know he's not a collector, or a couple of bottles are open. There's a glass in there. He's usually holding the glass, and he writes this dissertation of a post. Like, it's pretty long.
I'm so verbose.
Yeah. So like, yeah, you're definitely not concise in your post. They're pretty lengthy. And so you have all this, but at least it drives a conversation. All right. Whereas I see other people and they just put, am I doing this right? And I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then it's ladies' night, or the guys who ask for ladies' night, like, hey, look, all the crotch shots, we should need to stop that. That way we encourage women to do, boob shots or whatever. I'm like, what? Like, they actually have sites for that. Many of them are free. You can go to YouPorn, X-Hamster, Pornhub,
Meatspin.com.
XNXX, I can't remember.
Yeah, XNI something
like that.
Yeah, that's another one. They're all free. If you want to see boobs galore. If you want to see stuff that you've never seen before, guess what? It's probably there too. Maybe you have some fetishes, but it's there as well. All right, knock yourself out. Go that side.
Sounds like a man who's well versed in the site.
He's been laid up for a while, so
yeah. But I didn't want to be slightly aroused. I can tell you that.
no simmies.
Yeah, it's like I don't care what happens, but I don't want to be turned on. So we're gonna watch a lot of Western movies, and I don't mean training flicks. I mean like actual Westerns.
So is the penile implant made out of like silicone? What is it made out of?
That's funny. It's funny. It's not a penile implant.
So did they have it in your skin? Did they have it in your skin tone?
Just so we can clear this up, all of the surgery took place internally. Okay.
Okay.
So just want to make sure we're clear on that.
What's your skin tone? Transparency?
Is because of the entrance point they had to go to do this surgery. That's the reason why I hurt.
Okay. Oh man.
So anyway, moving on. And I don't want to talk about all that nonsense. I told you guys I'm not going to tell you what occurred.
Oh, wait, Jody. Oh, somebody's at the back door.
Fuck you.
It's good to know we picked off right where we left off at.
Yeah. I'm gonna change the end of our
Can I give a quick shout out to our Whiskey Rebellion Barcast group?
The opinions expressed.
I'm I'm hoping we get some more people watching. We can get some more people joining our group. You can find us on Facebook. I think we're
Yes.
up to like 70 members right now. 70 people in our group.
You're talking about on the VIP.
Yeah,
On
that's
the
the VIP
VIP.
side, yeah.
In our Facebook group.
Oh, in the group. Yeah. Well, see, David and Jeff are supposed to be running that, and I
You got an admin too, bro.
I made you an admin as well.
Yeah,
Well, then why don't you do something with it?
I have been.
Okay,
I've been
because
That's why I've been posting more pictures in there.
Oh, okay, cool.
And
Well,
also what somebody needs to do is you guys need to post it on Be Good to Yourself so we can get some crossover followers.
Yep.
I'm down with that. I can do that.
Yeah, I'd love
In our last show that we recorded, unfortunately, it's not going to air. It is what it is. I just don't have time to go back and put it together and put it with this, or whatever. It's just not going to air. It is what it is, but it doesn't matter. We're moving forward. We're doing good things, and David and you guys picked up and did live shows, and I appreciate that. I'm glad y'all were still on. I watched a few of them. I didn't watch the whole things because, to be quite honest with you, I was on some medication that put me to sleep. And so I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and say something nice, man. I'm glad you guys are keeping this going, and it's that good luck on your show. And then by the time I hit enter, I was probably in third stage of REM sleep. So and then next thing I know, I wake up and it says your video is now off. They're no longer live, and I'm like, well, I gotta go pee, so I'm gonna go do that. So, but kind of is what it is. But yeah, I'll have to change the ending where it says "fuck you, Tony" to "fuck you, Lil John."
Hey Jody, listen, you just make sure you bring some of that medication when we go camping, okay?
I'm not going Brokeback Mountain with you all 745 feet in Florida.
It'd be nice, some nice big hogs down there. Some big hogs. And some long snakes. And big gators.
So Melvin, are you gonna ride out to Uncle Nearest this weekend?
I am.
1820.
We're going Saturday.
1820.
You riding a bicycle or a motorcycle?
Motorcycle. Well, if I'm going to be drinking, then I'll be driving a car.
Oh, okay.
You need to
The
check.
only reason why I asked is because you have been doing a lot of bicycling recently.
Oh yeah, I'm an avid cyclist.
Yeah.
Up until I took a sabbatical last year and up until this year, so I've kind of got back into it. But
You
I
have to tell
cycle a
me. You
lot.
have to tell me about that. I cycle a lot too, but I do a lot of mountain biking. Like I love to get on a 13 miler and have a good time. Me and my boy go, and going up and down rocks, jumping embankments, going through mud and water and all that stuff. All kinds of fun. If I'm on the road, I get bored. I'm like, oh my God, we're still just keeping the same cadence going the whole time. So how do you entertain yourself? I think that's a reasonable question.
I can tell you this, for me, because I ride with a group of people that ride pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
My focus is how can I stay on that guy's wheel in front of me and not drop, because the very minute you drop,
Yep, you lose
you're
out of the draft.
you're out. Yeah, so you're typically, I ride with a group that are pretty fast. So
What's the cadence y'all keep? 88, 92?
typically probably around 80 to 100, but I typically put out plus 200 watts. Now, before I dropped out, I was riding with a group. We were easily probably our average ride was 21, 22 miles an hour for an average ride, which is pretty fast on a bicycle.
Yeah.
So
That's clipping along pretty good there on the bicycle.
yeah, for an old man. Yeah, for an old man. Yep. So, but right now I'm probably only maybe doing about 17, 18 miles an hour. That's about all I got. So, but to answer your question, Jody, for me, I ride with the group that really pushes you hard. And so they don't lollygag. So you have to work to stay with it, stay at it. So that part I like. I'm a little competitive, so I want to stay with the younger boys.
No, I'm with you. The reason why I had surgery is because I'm really strong and I like to lift heavy objects and show the younger people that I can lift more than them.
Yeah.
So trust me, I get the competitive nature of that. I look at, like when I'm on a mountain bike course, trying to stay at it, which is not pragmatic, but trying to stay at 88. at a cadence of 88 rotations per minute is damn near impossible, you know?
Yeah, that's not on a mountain bike.
Yeah. Well, it is if you're on a downhill or if you're on an elevated trail that's like, for example, Trail 401 in Colorado. It rides a bluff, a cliff, I should say. And there's probably, it's 7,000 feet. There's probably 3 or 4 miles of it. It's just slight drops and raises like that. And so you could keep a pretty hefty cadence on that, but you're not trying to ride in a pack either, because if someone messes up and you hit them, both of y'all are going off that single track off the edge. So it is what it is. But I don't want to get into all that craziness. I did see that you were a cyclist as well, and I was like, huh.
I kind of got a question for the group. So this past weekend, of course, you guys know I went jeeping with the Jeep crew. And after the trails, we went back to the hotel, we had dinner, hung out, we had some cigars, and I took a bottle of Buffalo Trace with me. And I had every intentions on not bringing it back. One of the guys in the group is a fireman, real likable guy. So I figured we'd crack open the bottle and I was going to gift it to him afterwards, whatever we had left. Long story short, he was blown away by Buffalo Trace. Prior to that, the only thing he really had was Jack Daniels. So my question to the group is, what's the last bottle you gifted to somebody who wasn't a connoisseur like we are? So for me,
Rock Hill Farms. I gifted a bottle of Rock Hill Farms, which is the reason why I asked you for another bottle.
Right.
I gifted a bottle of Rock Hill Farms to someone who never had one.
Got it. Okay.
I said, hey, look, here you go. I got a hookup, and reached out to you, and then now I'm without Rock Hill Farms.
Well, we're gonna work it out. Don't worry. it'll be UPS next time.
What's funny is when I ship stuff UPS, they ask me what's in it. I'm like, I don't know, chef-free stuff.
Excuse me.
And they're like, what do you like? Can you tell me specifically? I'm like, I don't know, olive oil. And like, you don't seem too like you're 100% sure. I'm like, it's not illegal. We're gonna put olive oil. Let's just move on.
And with that face, I'm sure they do.
Well, the guy I shipped it from, he owns the UPS store, and he knew me as a police officer. So he's like, there's no way this guy's shipping anything illegal. And I'm not shipping anything illegal. The only violation of shipping alcohol is taxation. That's the only thing. It's not illegal for two consenting adults that are over the age of 21 in any state to have alcohol, period. It's just not. All right. So the reason and the rationale is not I got it cheaper or you got it cheaper. It's whether I have taxes here in Tennessee that may exceed the taxes you have in Florida or vice versa.
I agree.
That's all it is.
I 100% agree with you. I know exactly what it's all about.
So it's not illegal. They're just being dicks. And quite honestly, it was probably my mailman that turned it in. He's like, this guy gets packages all the time. He's a dick.
Well, here's the funny thing. It was all good because as it goes through different locations, it gets scans and it tells you what location it's going to.
Right. Yeah.
So when it stopped moving, it was in your post office.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's probably my mailman. Like the dude every day, he can't shut the he'll shut the flap on the mailbox if it's like 105 outside, and it's clear, or maybe I don't know, maybe there's like nothing, like he just stuffs everything in there, and it's so discombobulated in there and all this, just like he wadded up and he's like, watch this, and just stuffs it all in there, and he'll make it work. But if it's something important and it's going to rain, he's like, sticks it in there. He's like, watch this shit, and just drives off. And I watch him from my window, and I'm like, you're a dick. So, and he probably watches the show. And what's bad is he and I actually share the same, like we're on the same political spectrum of each other, this, that, and way. I think he thinks I'm a stay-at-home, non-working husband. Like I just don't have a job. And he's like, this worthless piece of crap's probably, living off some type of government assistance and this, that, and whatever. I'm like, Yeah, this is what they give
Innocent
you.
abuser.
This type of home they give you in the government assistance. Yeah.
Listen,
Stimmy abuser.
all I can tell you is it stopped moving in your neighborhood.
Oh shit. We should go meet him.
Guy's a dick.
So what about you, Rob? What's the last thing you gifted to? What's the last bottle of olive oil you gifted to somebody who wasn't like an enthusiast and they really enjoyed it compared to you having it and being like, ah, it was good, but it wasn't like, oh, I got better at home.
Oh, I also gave away Joseph Magnus.
Well, yeah, but
That was a gift from me, though.
because you hate it.
That doesn't count. This shit was open.
I'm just saying it was also a gift for me, though. Get that out of my house.
And David will drink anything. So
It wasn't to David. I gave it to White Mark.
wait, or
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And that's also who I gave the Rock Hill Farms to. Remember, he poured that pitcher. He showed it upside down.
Yeah,
Like,
upside
that's the
down.
bottle I
Yeah.
gave you. I'm like,
Ah,
I'm glad you saved me some since I can't have any more.
honestly, I can't remember the last time I've gifted something to someone that wasn't an enthusiast. I mean, I have a friend that I picked up a bottle of Legend for, Fredno and the blender from Japan have that Legend, which is actually really good, and it's only like a $30 bottle.
Okay.
But but the guy I gave it to is a enthusiast himself.
So,
So-
bottom line is, it doesn't always have to be like a unicorn or incredibly
Nope.
expensive for somebody
Nope.
to find some likeness to it. Okay.
Yeah, if it's something that I like and I think that person may enjoy it, and I think he gave me a bottle of Toasted Barrel.
Okay.
So
Nice.
oh, nice.
What about
Hey.
you, Lil John?
Well, I mean, the most recent has been all the Belle Mead honey. I sent out the samples to that. I reserved a few samples. I made a list of people and basically had more people on the list than what the bottle held. And I was like, damn, this sucks. But
By the way, are me and David still getting ours?
yeah, yours is right here, actually.
Cool. Because we got to do a show at some point with Mal and make sure that we get that.
Yeah, and Melvin, I have you one too. I've held one out for you as well, the Belle Mead honey.
Perfect.
You know, if
And,
you need, you can ship it to me. Melvin's my guy, so you can ship it here for him as well.
There you go.
I did give it to give one to a couple buddies of mine who, they drink whiskey and bourbon. One guy's more of a Jack Daniels fan. He's a big Jack Daniels single barrel guy. The other one, to be honest, he would drink damn. I got spit out some Jack Daniels. He'd drink it out of a damn boot. He'll just drink anything. But the dude makes some money, and he'll, he's like, oh, what y'all got in the back that's good, and he'll buy a $200 bottle of bourbon, not know what he's getting. But I gave one to him. I haven't heard what his feedback was, but they're just like, oh yeah, I don't know, it's all right. I was like, okay.
See,
Right.
that's funny. I'm interested because I saved a little bit of Good Times honey to try as a comparison to it. I'll be honest with you, I was not a big fan of the Good Times honey, but the Good Times cherry was fantastic. I would probably overreach and pay a higher amount of money for the Good Times cherry. It was really good. But now, with that being said, I also love that cherry taste.
Yeah.
And I have never found a Good Times. That's funny. I've never found a Good Times, but I've never found a Good Times.
Oh, you found a good time, all right. We know you have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. It wasn't a good time.
So, Jordy, let me ask you a quick question before we move on.
You gonna ask me what?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. Do you like honey? Period.
I do. I put honey on I have toast almost every day, and I generally put honey on my toast.
No, the reason I ask because a lot of people don't know it, but you know how you'll get something and it has like some artificial flavoring in it or something. Honey's the one thing that can't be replicated.
Yeah. Yep.
So if it says honey in it, it's real honey. But believe it or not, there's people out there who really don't like honey or don't like the taste of it, you know? So
Right.
it's weird to see that you like the cherry, but you're not into the honey part of it.
You know, what's interesting is I have found that recently Eagle Rare, I'm really picking up a strong cherry taste in it. Like the more I drink of it, the more cherry I get out of it. And I'm like, wow, this is make even more one of my favorites, you know?
Are you getting that out of that store pick?
I don't drink the store pick that often because that was a gift from the Godfather, and I'll never get another one probably. I mean, I'm sure he would get me another one if I wanted one, but I don't want to abuse that system we have there. So I don't drink it as much. I've actually collected several because people found out that I was in need of it, and they're like, "Hey, I got you." And so the next thing you know, I have like 5 of them now, and so I have one or two open upstairs and 1 or 2 open downstairs, and I just drink from them, you know. And then anytime I'm out, if I find it, I go ahead and buy another one. I think Eagle Rare is probably, and I've said this numerous times, I think it's probably the perfect bourbon if sold at the correct price point. And it's 10-year. It's even though it's only a 90 proof, it's something you can drink by a campfire. It's something you can drink with your family. You can drink with your friends. You can have for holidays. It's just a really good expression.
Nice. All right, Mark, what about you? What's the last thing you gifted to somebody who wasn't like a big enthusiast like yourself? And how did they take it?
So I guess I'm trying to think, because I have you guys have probably heard me talk about, I have an uncle that likes bourbon and whiskey. So I sent him a old Barton. I think this time I sent a 86 proof. And my brother just left and went back to Charlotte. I sent him back with the Eagle Rare. Not a store pick, because he wouldn't appreciate the store picks. I got a few store picks, but I did get him an Eagle Rare. And so he went back to Carolina with that.
Nice, nice. What about you, Melvin?
Hey, my brother was just in town maybe about a couple of months ago, and he is a wine enthusiast, not so much bourbon. So he came in for the weekend. So we were taking a weekend trip to the mountains. So I tried to pack bourbon that I thought he might like, and ended up he didn't care for any of it. And so we did this. We stopped at King's Distillery, and I think some of you are maybe familiar with Justin King. They've got a distillery up in the Smoky Mountains. So I took him in there, and we tried some of the different stuff. He fell in love with one of the bottles, so I bought him some. And we were only there for like 3 or 4 days. He polished that bottle off before he came home. So he loved it. And he didn't drink any wine while we were gone, but he did polish off that bottle of bourbon.
Nice.
So something I got recently that I'm really enthusiastic to try is this Kentucky straight bourbon that's finished in Japanese Mezzanero oak barrels, 15 years from the World Bourbon Society, I think it is.
I haven't seen that bottle.
One with that copper on it, right?
Yep.
Yeah. How much did you pay for that?
That's not something I'm gonna discuss on here.
Well, I'll tell you what Fairview Liquors is selling it for, and it's $284.
Okay, so yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
So, but there's allegedly only 650 bottles made, and so now I'm sitting there going, World Whiskey Society, by the way. But I'm sitting there going, do I want to drink it? You know, do I want to I don't like I really don't like that whole competitive world and the secondary of like Belle Mead honey. As soon as people were, got that golden ticket, like it was like watching, Willy Wonka, and they got that golden ticket. And then next thing you know, they pick it up, and by the time they're driving home, they're probably driving home crotch shot, shooting it and doing all this stuff and sending it and posting it that I have the 106 barrel proof or whatever. I don't remember what it was, but for $1,100. And I was going, with all the fixings, is what they said. And I'm sitting there going, wow, you guys, like that you didn't pay anywhere close to that. And that's ridiculous. And it would be the same with this, that I'm more interested because it's Bardstown juice, allegedly. And I like Bardstown. I find it interesting and I want to try it. So I'm gonna let it ponder in the head a little bit, but it's probably gonna get opened within the next couple of weeks. Hopefully when you get the chance for us to meet up, Lil John, I can give you a sample of that and you can tell me what you think.
Well, I was going to call you this week. I was going to see if you wanted to write. So all the tours at Uncle Nearest are sold out. Apparently they've been sold out for quite some time. And so I'm going to drive out there. But I'm not good doing a tour. I just want to kind of see the place. But I want to pick up an 1820 bottle because you can only get it at the distillery.
Right.
1820. 1820.
Do you see, Rob? He ain't pointing at the ugly neighbor next door.
I'll buy as many as they'll allow us to have.
I'm gonna send you some T-shirts to change into.
I'll
It'd be like
I'll actually
Amtrak
be there.
culture. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, Jonathan, if there's a limit on purchases, I'll be there also, can pick up a couple of bottles if somebody needs some.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll coordinate that. But Jody, I'll reach out to you, see if you want to ride out there.
What day are you talking about?
Saturday. I want to try to go like first thing Saturday morning. I think the ribbon cutting's like at 9 o'clock. I'd like to just go out there and get what I want and head back out.
Does anybody think the secondary market is going to collapse?
No, I don't.
I do, but not right now. It'll be a while.
Not in our lifetime.
Really?
Yeah, I really don't think so. Here's the reason why. There's two things. It's all supply and demand. And I explain this every day to my students. Price doesn't actually affect demand. It's actually the demand that affects the price. And then of course not having the supply. So when like with this right here, if there's only 650 bottles, this time next year, this could be $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 bottle. Who knows? Yep. I don't know if I were to put it on the market. I have no idea. And there's people out there. They're going to buy it. They're always going to buy it. I mean, I have bought secondary quite a bit, to be honest with you. I mean, it happens. Does that make me a tater or whatever? If I want something and I have the means to purchase it, I'm going to purchase it. Now, I will also tell you that currently I'm kind of put myself in one of those positions where I don't really want to purchase anything. I sold 10 bottles and I still have 230 bottles, and I only sold the 10 bottles because I felt pretentious when we were talking about it that one time. And I was like, this is ridiculous, man. I got way too much alcohol. So I was like, I'll just get rid of some. And then I started thinking the other day about the Woodfords. I have the Woodfords, the horse races, the Kentucky Derby, 144 to the current one, or maybe 143 to the current one. I don't know. I have a bunch of them. They've never been opened. Like, why? It's just Woodford, for God's sakes. Why haven't I opened those?
They didn't do like special barrels for that. It's just their regular barrel.
Yeah, it's just Woodford.
It's just a different bottle.
Yeah, that's all it is. Just Woodford. It's like,
but now the thing is, though, you having those bottles, if everything went to shit, those bottles would be of substantial amount more value. I mean, and if you needed to get your hands on some money, I don't know what the value would be, but I'm sure they would be worth something to the right person.
So empty Kentucky Derby bottles on eBay are running you anywhere from people will pay for an empty bottle, as long as it has a tag and stuff with it. You'll get $100 to $200 off of an empty bottle.
That's crazy.
For an empty bottle.
Yep.
An empty bottle.
Yep.
Now we're doing what's that one? The other one that's worth like $3-4 grand empty. The
Pappies?
Louis Trey.
Not the Pappy.
The Louis Trey bottle.
Yeah, the Louis Trey, exactly.
Oh, is it really?
And that bottle's crystal. I get it.
Hold on. That bottle's how much secondary?
Yeah, it's been back around.
Because look, we have one. My dad has one. I'll pour that shit in the can.
I'll put that in one of those Steelhouse cans.
Yes.
Dude, I tell you what, one of the things that makes me giggle every time is you look at the bourbon communities and Bourbon Nation, Bourbon Junkies. I used to be a member of whiskey, bourbon, Scotch enthusiasts until they, I guess, banished me. But all of them all of them are pretty solid. Like you can kind of gauge about what's pretty good and they have a good idea of what's good. Then you get on the community is awesome. Then you get on the veteran pages, the veteran bourbon pages. And some guy the other day held up a bottle of Steelhouse and he's like, this isn't all that bad. And like, I actually think it's pretty good. Great price point, this, that, whatever. And I'm sitting there going, dude, you guys are, this is the reason why veterans get bad names in the bourbon world. Like, if it comes in a metal can, it might as well be beer. I mean, it's you're drinking junk. Like, I don't care that the bottle or the can or whatever might be unique. That's horrible.
It's coming from guys that used to drink Mermite coffee. Thought it was the best stuff ever, especially when you cold.
When you've been out in the field, though. Yeah.
Filtered MREs. That's MRE juices.
But you sit there and you're like, these guys, or they'll post a bottle of that they find of, I don't know, Buffalo Trace or I don't know, just anything that's just nonchalant. And you're like, really? This is the best you got? You're going to do a crotch shot with that?
Well, listen, if it has some kind of value to them that they feel like it's a thing. Listen, a couple of shows back, we talked about it. People feel like Buffalo Trace is going to be allocated in a couple of years.
Probably will be.
Honestly, it probably will, because I think I told you guys, I could not find Buffalo Trace in the state in 2019, except when it was in packages. I was like, Buffalo Trace, really? And so, but now it's everywhere. Every grocery store, everywhere you go, there's Buffalo Trace. Now, I don't know how much longer that's going to be the case, but
I just found it to be average at best.
Yeah, and you're right. It is, especially
price point. It's a good bourbon.
No, exactly. But it's just
for the price point, I'd rather have Woodford, to be honest with you. I think Woodford is what I love about Woodford is it's plentiful there. It's a higher proof than Buffalo Trace typically. And then it's I think it has a better taste, definitely a better taste neat, which is the way I prefer to drink it.
Yeah, you're probably right. But it's just, listen, here in Miami, when Costco gets it, it's $19.99.
Well, that would be a better price than Woodford.
And my Costco never gets it.
It's $24.99 in PA.
It's like $29 here. Now, I have seen places that are gouging it in Tennessee. Like, one of the bad things about Tennessee is that, like, I think I told the guys about, or told you guys about this before I took a sabbatical for a few days for recovering, which was I seen Eagle Rare at this store. At this one store for $89. And I'm like,
for that price, yeah.
And I'm like, no. I looked at the guy and he was like, you want that? And I'm like, oh, I do, but I want it at if it had been $49, I'd probably bought it.
Yeah.
Which is still overpriced.
Right.
I'd probably bought it. But $89? No. It's just like that day when I found that case of Blanton's and I was like, hey, I can get it, but it's $105 a bottle. You guys want it? And, I overpaid for that little bottle that of Blanton's that I bought just because I wanted the little bottle, But, I mean, that little bottle cost as much as they sold it to me for the price of a normal MSRP
right.
Blanton's,
Yeah. So look, I got one quick thing before we head out. I know we're heading soon.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys have all seen it, but there's a Netflix documentary coming called Pappygate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's I think it's due to air. I think the date is July 14th. So it's what, 3 weeks, 2 weeks? And some guy up in it was in Kansas, I'm sorry, Kentucky, and he somehow stole $100,000 worth of Pappies. Now we know what the street value of that really would be. So when this hits Netflix, we're already having trouble finding Pappies. God bless us all. We're trying to get Pappies in about a month from now. Because once
No,
this hits Netflix,
I'm not a big fan though of Pappies. Now, granted, I've never had the 15 or the 20 or the
15 is the good
23.
one to me. The 15 is the bomb.
I've never had those, but I'm just not going to pay the price point for those. I mean, because the 10
get ready for it to jump up, because when this hits Netflix, everyone and their mother's going to run around looking for Pappies now.
Yeah,
even more so now than normal.
And you know,
already ridiculous.
That's the thing with Mark saying. If you notice, if a particular bottle makes an appearance in a movie or a show, or they do some documentary,
we could do a whole show on that.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think it even happened slightly with Michter's.
Oh,
when Michter's made an appearance all throughout the show Billions. I don't know if you guys seen it. It's on.
Now I gotta go back and watch it now.
Yeah, there's a show called Billions. I think it's on Showtime or HBO.
Yeah, it's Showtime.
Great show. Great show. I mean, the show's fabulous. And the final season's coming up in September. But Blanton's makes a feature, and it's just riddled with Michter's. But it's all the high-end Michter's, like the 10-year. It's like, wow. And when that show started coming out, Michter's started becoming more and more pricey, if you will. Even I can remember the first time I bought the US one, it was like $30. But now the US one is like $45, $50.
I've seen it as high as $79. I'm like, I don't even like this. Why would I buy that?
It's
But what's funny about that is Bomberger, one of my favorite. It's like the greatest like secret in bourbon is Bombergers. And that is fantastic. That's a Michter's product.
Yep.
So
in PA today, the fine wines and good spirits in their Whiskey Wednesday email, they got some of the Michter's #1 barrel strength that came out. It came in at one. It was They listed it at 101.49. I got the email at 10:09. I logged into the website at 10:15. Gone.
Wow. Just like
crazy.
that.
It's crazy.
It's PA's their system is I don't know. You can get it at definitely at MSRP. You know, they're not gouging you for it. But you've got 350,000 people all getting this email within 10 minutes and all trying to log in and buy the 4 cases that they got for the entire state.
Right? Yeah. And I mean, Michter's here in Miami is not hard to get, but I will say at least the price point is all the same. Whether you go to Total Wines, ABC, if you walk into your local Big Daddy's Liquor, it's pretty much across the board the same. It might vary a couple of bucks here and there, but it's not like it's going to be 30 at one place and 75 at another. I think the highest I've seen it was like 49. Okay. At the absolute highest. So,
but you know, I would say at our market today, when you've got so many small distilleries putting out actually some pretty good stuff.
Yes.
And the way they're blending stuff now, man, they're blending stuff like crazy and coming up with some pretty good flavors. And so it almost, in my mind, it would go against chasing the unicorns, because you can get some very good stuff. I don't mind paying. I've got several bottles that, you know, I paid $140 for, but I know it's good stuff, and it's not unicorn stuff, but it's just good stuff. So I would think that would take away from chasing after these hard to get bottles of bourbon.
It's a status thing, though.
I think with the small distilleries, a lot of time, you know, these guys are it's a new business, and so a lot of times, you know, their price point is to, you know, cost, and then just to try to make something so they can continue this business. And so a lot of times, like with Libra's Fork, I mean, you're paying $80 for their bottle. Well, it's like, well, how do we know that this is even good? And then
Yeah.
and when they first even started with their Colonel Hunter's,
Colonel Hunters.
bourbon,
That was good.
it was about $60. And then you got places like,
that one's a blend source,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
It was.
And then,
it was.
and then you have like Short Mountain here in Tennessee, that's out at Woodbury,
which they do have an 8-year, by the way.
Who Short Mountain does?
Yep.
But
I was
their
gonna go-
shit's expensive as hell. It's like, God dang, like anywhere from $80-$90. It's like, so I think a lot of people see those price points as like, well, I know nothing about this distillery
but I know Weller.
But I know Weller, so I'm gonna go spend my $100 dollars on something else. And so I think with that mentality, people miss out on good products. I've only had, I can't remember which Short Mountain whiskey I had. It may just be kind of their probably 4-year bourbon or something, but it was pretty good. I mean, it was for the price points, like, I probably could have got something else, but I'm glad I tried it. I'm glad I spent money, and I'm glad I helped out a business that it can in the next 10 years they could have some phenomenal product.
Yeah. It's funny about that Leaper's Fork. If Leaper's Fork was available here in South Florida, particularly Miami, where you have that snobbish yuppie with that disposable income, Leaper's Fork would be $100 all day. This bottle sitting right here, it would be $100, and people wouldn't blink an eye. They just buy it. And I think some of these distilleries know it. So I think there's a whole theory and math equation that they use, determining what they're going to put where and how much they're going to pay for it, knowing that, okay, if we follow this formula over a 3-month period, this thing is going to catch fire. Mm-hmm. And they do those markups. And then you got the retailers that do it here, like Florida. You don't have to follow a particular price point. I've seen Eagle Rare for $90, and then I've seen Eagle Rare for $24. I mean, it was on a whim. It was probably a once in a lifetime deal, but the price ranges on some of these things are so far. But it's crazy. We was talking about it on the show the other day. Johnny Blue was at Costco a couple of years back, was right around $120 with 2 glasses for Johnny Blue.
Yeah, it's $225 now, even at the package store.
Right.
Yeah.
$39 in PA.
So it's just, they know, but something as good as Leaper's Fork, from what I've seen, the stuff down here, if that stuff was here in South Florida, it'd be $100 all day. And you probably wouldn't be able to find it. You wouldn't be able to keep it on the shelves.
Well, to be honest, I hadn't even seen it at Fairview, and
I haven't seen it recently
last
either.
few weeks. Yeah,
it's selling out fast.
Yeah. So
listen, guys,
like that, I'm sure they're taking advantage of it.
Well, listen, guys, it's always fun, and I truly appreciate you guys all coming back on my my re-debut after taking a few weeks off for recovery from surgery. But guys, it's always been fun. We will not do a Father's Day show. We're going to move to a new format of just doing Wednesdays moving forward, and then occasionally we'll do a Sunday when we can get Mao, and maybe early too. It may be like a noon type show here in Tennessee, so we can do tastings or whatever to include him. But moving forward, we're just going to go to a Wednesday format and once a week put out a video. So guys, it's always fun. Thank you for being on the show tonight. Y'all be safe. Love y'all. Peace out.
What's your name? What? What is your name? Tony. Fuck you, Tony.